Hi, welcome to another video for my vintage electronics channel. My name's Gary, and in this video I'm going to be looking at the repair and restoration of this Pye P114BQ valve radio from the mid-1950s. So let's see how we get on. The Pye P114BQ was first introduced in 1955. Pye Limited were based in Cambridge, England at the time. It is a compact battery-powered unit measuring 240 by 205 by 100 millimeters, or 9.4 by 8.1 by 3.9 inches. The high-tension battery was a 90-volt ever-ready B126, and the low-tension battery is an ever-ready 1.5-volt AD35. It is a super heterodyne design and covers the long and medium wave bands. One of the great things about working with radios of this era is the superb technical manuals that have full schematics with parts, a circuit description and alignment procedures. So just going to have a little look around the radio. It's very simple layouts. We've just got volume, long medium wave selector and tuning here. The radio is turned on and off by this push to brake switch. There's a little bracket which is located in the lid, which engages that switch when the lid is closed. That turns off the heater supply. That's the supply that's the low tension supply, which consumes the energy from the battery the most. So that is effectively the on-off switch. The high tension supply is permanently connected to the anodes of the valves. But that takes very little current, and if the valves aren't conducting, then effectively the radio is turned off when the lid is closed. And that's really all there is to it. There's a speaker here, obviously, under there, and the antenna is built into the lid. So it's a very compact little radio, very dinky little case, and that's why I kind of like it, so I'll keep it. So my approach to this task is in two parts fundamentally. I'm going to just tidy up the case, so I want to clean this up, and this is kind of leatherette material. This is peeling off, so I want to get this glued down. I'm not going to replace it, I'm just going to try and clean it up as best as I can. There's a lot of rust and corrosion on the chrome, so I want to strip all these hinges out and clean those up as best as I can. Not so they're new, but I'm going to try a few techniques to actually get the chrome on. So it'll be really just working on the case. There's a lot of work to do on the handle here. I can clean up the edge bits. I don't really know what to do with the handle itself. I might try and get a new one, or I might try and make a cover on there just to tidy that up. Inside with the electrics, all the electronics, I'm far more comfortable with this. So it'll be principally just checking the electrolytic capacitors, and I believe there's one or two paper capacitors in there, which I'll probably just change routinely. At that point, when I'm confident that it's in a good chance of working, I'll power that up, and I'll power it up with the mains eliminator. I don't really want to take these knobs off if I can avoid it. The front plate is in quite good condition. I will take the antenna out. It's just located with some screws here, just so I can release the electronic section from the body itself. And with that, really, it's probably just a case of getting on with the job now. What I'll do, I'll make sure that every single nut and bolt and part is labelled up, put aside in its bag, so I know exactly where it came from and where it's going back to. Whatever's rusty, I'll be cleaning up as best as I can, really. So what I'll do, I'll start by taking the antenna out and releasing the electronics, and then just work on the case and see where we go. The antenna is connected to the chassis, and so needs to be removed from the case to allow the radio to be fully removed. I was then able to get a good look at the case and assess the work I wanted to do to it. I was also able to see that wax paper capacitors and a single 8 microfarad electrolytic were fitted. I replaced these. So I want to start work on cleaning the case, but before I do that, I want to get the parts ordered. On closer inspection, I did see another 2 capacitors which look like wax paper capacitors, which I want to change. To do that, I need to actually get the PCB away from this faceplate, and to do that, I need to take the control knobs off. One of those is actually cracked when I was taking that away. It's just broken on the shaft, but that'll go back on quite easily and that'll glue back into place. So I'm quite lucky in that respect. I do need then to take this tuner capacitor away. I'm not even going to try and take this knob off. I think it's just too fragile, too precious. To remove the PCB, all I needed to do was actually, once the knobs were away, was take these 2 screws out. But it's still fixed in place, really, with the wiring to the tuner capacitor. So luckily, I can actually just desolder those wires, and then that side of the PCB would be free. And then there's just a few. The battery leads are okay, but then it's just the speaker. It needs to be desoldered, and then the whole thing will come away quite easily. So I'm quite pleased with that. Same with the antenna as well. I just need to get that away because that's fragile as well. What it also means is there's a problem on the tuning capacitor. There's a little lug that I'm holding that there now. That has come adrift. It needs soldering back on. It was actually jamming the tuning capacitor at one end of its travel, so I can actually get that fixed, and so that can resolve that problem. So that's what I'm going to get on with now. So finally got the PCB separated from the chassis. So while the electronic components are arriving and I'm waiting for those in the post, I thought I'll get on with the renovation of the case. I'm not going to do too much with it. I just want to clean it up. You can see the difference between the outer case and this panel material. This panel was retaining the antenna inside the case. So really I just want to give this a clean, and then I'll glue down the fabric corners which have come away. So I'm comfortable with the electronics. I'm not so comfortable or experienced doing case renovations. So I've been watching lots of YouTube videos and talking to people. This solid wood case is covered in like a vinyl material, like a plastic. It's non-porous. So I think if we just go with some warm water and detergent solution, just a very mild detergent solution, I'll just try that and see how we get on. So I'm just using these makeup pads really just to give the case a little bit of a rub, see if anything comes away. Just got on these heavy spots here at the moment. So I'm just going to be gentle with this, and I'm looking at the pad. There is a little bit of dirt has actually lifted away. It's not too much. I think I'll just persevere with this and just see how we get on. So I want to start work cleaning the chrome, and one of the techniques I've looked at on YouTube is simply to use aluminium foil with water, just a soapy solution of water, and rub the chrome with the aluminium, and apparently that's supposed to react with the rust and remove it. So let's just see how we get on with this particular technique. So I don't know if it was the abrasive power of the aluminium or whether it was actually reacting to the rust, but I do have a result here. It's not perfect, but I don't want perfection with this radio. I just want things to look better than when I started, and that's certainly the case. What I'll do, might continue with this. I might go and I think what I will do is go and get another piece of chrome, rusted chrome, and just try a different technique, just using metal polish, just to see how that compares. So you can see the before and after. I'm going to clean up this piece with Brasso now, some metal polish, so we'll just see how we get on with that. I've got my gloves on because it is an irritant, so we'll just see if this is more effective. Just using the microfiber cloth here. It doesn't feel like it's having much of an effect compared to the aluminium way. We'll have to give it a little bit of time, see how we get on. So I've cleaned up both of these pieces. This one was really well corroded. It is an improvement, but not perfect. So the Brasso didn't really have an effect. So I went back to the aluminium. Might explore some other techniques, might not. So I don't really want perfection on the radio. I just want things to be better than when I got it. So I've kind of achieved that objective. So we'll just keep pushing on with the other chrome bits on the case. Thinking ahead to when I need to glue down the fabric on the corners of the case, I'm going to need to put some pressure on those areas. So I decided to use Tinkercad to 3D print some formers basically in the profile of the corner, which I could use to assert even pressure on the corner when I glued them. So I want to turn my attention to the case and just glue these fabric corners down and tidy up some of the areas where it's actually coming adrift here. So I've cleaned it up as best as I can. The case is 70 years old, so I don't really want it looking new anyway, and I don't want to put a huge amount of money into renovating this. It's just tidying it up and make sure the electronics are working. So I'm just going to use a fabric glue. Well, it's an all-purpose glue actually, just to paint on here. And if I need to put pressure on, these are the corners that I designed and printed off. They just sit in there, and I can just put some elastic bands around there just to hold the corners in if I need to. So I'll just see how I get on. Let's put some glue out on this bit of old plastic. And I'll just paint this on with a brush, and it's a contact adhesive, so hopefully it'll stick pretty much instantly, but we'll see. So just with this I can get into the corners there, get under the points where it's coming adrift. Make sure I get plenty of glue in. A bit more glue out. Okay, let's put these corners in, see how we get on. Whee! It's always a bit of an experimentation. So I've got the formers in there just to help with the pressure. The trick was just to get both rubber bands in place before I put those corner pieces in. And I'm just going to leave that now. I'm not going to touch it. I don't want it springing off again. So yeah, let's come back when it's dry. So I've tidied up the case as best as I can do and best as I want to, really, given the amount of, I don't really want to spend a huge amount of money on it, and it's 70 years old, so it's never going to look new. So I cleaned up as best as I can. I can't really get rid of the oil stains there. The main thing was to stabilise the fabric coating. That's all been glued down now and there's nothing coming away. So that's the main thing from the case perspective. I will drill an inlet mains inlet at the back here, so I'll do that soon. But really I can just focus on the electronics now, which I've already started. It's just a case of getting the printed circuit board capacitors replaced, and I think we're good to go and reconstruct it. Well, that concludes part 1 of this repair series. In part 2 we'll look at the repair of the electronics and the reconstruction of the radio and the final testing. Don't forget, if you enjoy watching these videos, to like, share and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. Otherwise, thank you for watching.